mummy's with the maggots now.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Well, hi there.
Hello and welcome to Would You Die, the show where... Oh shit. Lisa, I forgot my quote.
Oh, dang.
Do you remember what it was?
No. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Was it, I don't want to die?
No, not that one.
Good thing we're not measuring dicks.
No, that's a good one, but no.
Let's kill this fucking clown?
Yeah, that was it.
Let's kill this fucking clown. I'm Austin Torres.
I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
And we are continuing Send in the Clowns month by continuing it by talking about It Chapter 2 today.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. Can't talk about one without talking about two.
Exactly. It's like they were made for each other.
Chapter 2 leaves off or picks up where the last one leaves off, but just 27 years later. The Losers Club reunites to destroy it once and for all as it reappears in the town of Derry, Maine.
It.
Yeah. So that's the start of it. Talks for the It sequel started in February of 2016, which is before the first movie came out, but it wasn't officially announced until September of 2017.
That is so funny because February 2016, that's like almost 2 years before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so September 2017 was when they announced the sequel as the first one was premiering. As we mentioned in the last episode, the first one ends, the end credits say It Chapter 1. Pretty much as soon as that was announced, they announced the It Chapter 2 was coming out in 2019 and came out 2 years later in September of 2019.
That was a quick turnaround for what is, I would argue, a bigger movie.
Yes, yeah. At least in terms of casting and even just logistics. It is a bigger movie. Yeah.
I mean, running time obviously is bigger. That's not arguable. It is.
Right.
Mathematically it is.
So we talked a little bit about the book last episode and how the book is very much back and forth chapter by chapter between the adults and the kids. So that is more true to this specific movie. In the first movie, it's exclusively the kids. It is the first time they are defeating Pennywise / It. This one really focuses on the 27 years later. There are more flashbacks in this one, obviously, that kind of fill in some of the gaps that we did not see in the last one. But mostly it focuses on our adults. And I want to talk cast for a bit, if that's okay.
Before we dive into this cast, are we going to talk about our personal connections with It Chapter 2?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I completely skipped a whole section. Yeah, absolutely. We should talk about our personal connections.
I saw this movie in theaters. September 2019. Just for me, same as It Chapter 1, I saw it opening night in a packed theater. But this would have been, unlike Chapter 1, this would have been in my Letterboxd era, and I didn't log it in 2019. I saw it in theaters. If I remember correctly, I saw it with my mom and friend of the show. Well, my mom's friend of the show. Friends of the show, my mom and Doug.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that's who I saw It Chapter 2 with. I didn't log it. And I didn't get good at logging stuff on Letterboxd until 2 years into having a Letterboxd.
Yeah.
But the first time I logged It Chapter 2 was 2021, where I'll save that for later. But I've seen it a couple times. I love this movie. I remember I worked at Box Lunch when this came out, and we got a lot of It merchandise when It Chapter 2 was coming out. And I feel like the hype for It Chapter 2 was even bigger than the hype for It Chapter 1.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
chapter 1 was so good that Pennywise mania was real.
Yeah.
And the press with the cast, I guess we could talk about it in a little bit, but like all the press with the younger and older cast was so good.
And I think jumping back to a conversation we had last episode, it's a lot easier to have a fandom when you have like a multiple movie arc. It's why most fandoms surround things like TV shows or franchises. There are fandoms for other things, but it's mostly TV shows and franchises because you get to follow a character arc over many, many years, over many, many things. So knowing that pretty much immediately, as soon as the first one came out, that there was going to be more of these characters was kind of an important like key to keeping that hype alive, to building that fandom, all of that.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of already told my personal connection with this movie because I told you guys that I saw It Chapter 2 in theaters opening weekend and then watched It Chapter 1 at home.
Yeah.
So this was kind of interesting because, yeah, I have since seen them in the correct order, like watched them. But yeah, it was really weird doing it that way because I knew everything that had happened in It Chapter 1 because, like I said, I read a synopsis. But I didn't feel as like emotionally attached to the characters as I probably would have if I had watched It Chapter 1 first. And now I do. Like I said, since then, with like being kind of adjacently involved in the fandom because of Stranger Things, I did end up watching them and like falling in love with the characters. But yeah, it was very much like the characters were familiar to me by name, but I didn't really know who they were, what their personalities were, and that's what's so good about It Chapter 1 is it does a really good job at showing you their personalities.
And it's the difference between watching this movie and being like, oh no, Bill Hader, and then being like, oh no, Richie.
Right, exactly. Jeremy, do you have a personal connection for this one? Did you see this one in theaters?
I did see this in theaters, and I wasn't going to the movies as often as I do now back in 2019. I think this is the last movie that I saw before the world shut down.
Wow.
I just took a quick look at like theatrical release. Like I just like quickly scrolled through.
Are we doing this tangent?
We can.
Yeah.
I want to.
I think this is the last movie I saw in theaters.
Wow. What was yours, Annalisa?
Mine was Birds of Prey.
Nice.
I love that movie. I did not see it in theaters.
Yeah,
I was,
it was
really
Birds of Prey. It was almost Cats, but it wasn't.
Ooh, good call.
I saw 2 movies after Cats. Wait.
If you ever want to know who knew COVID was coming, Annalisa.
No, I don't think I saw 2 movies. Maybe I did. I can't remember.
Did you do the Cursed Rise of Skywalker Cats double feature?
I did not.
Because
I saw them in the same week.
That brought the end of the world.
I think I saw Little Women after I saw Cats, and then I saw Birds of Prey in like early March. So.
Okay. Because early March is when the world shut down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's safe to assume that I see movies at a faster clip than you guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fair to assume that was the case in 2019.
Hey, Austin, you see movies at a faster clip than literally anybody I know.
Hell yeah.
So.
Well, and it wasn't like the last movie like that I saw like
But in theaters.
Yeah. No.
I'm talking about in theaters.
In theaters, yeah.
I like the movies. It's my third place. The last movie I saw in theaters before the COVID lockdown was Lee Winnell's The Invisible Man.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
And, that was so good in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
That one scene, everyone gasped. And I'm not spoiling that because
Because you need to see it.
it's a magical movie moment, but if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I saw that movie with friends of the show, my mom, Evan, and Doug.
Nice.
But it might have just been my mom and Evan.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that was a great movie. Do you guys remember the first movie you guys saw coming back from the lockdown?
Spider-Man.
No Way Home?
Yeah. It was a good theater experience. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that it wasn't, like, we have controversial opinions on that movie, me included, but it was a really good first theater experience back, I'll be honest.
that might have been like my 10th movie coming back.
You have to remember, I have crippling health anxiety and did not go to the movies for a long time after.
Mine
You
was.
have to remember, I like the movies.
I hear ya.
Mine was also a Marvel movie.
Was it? Oh, can I guess?
Yes,
Was it Black Widow?
it was not Black Widow.
Was it Eternals?
It was Eternals.
Nice.
What was yours back?
Wait, let.
Oh, sorry.
I saw Eternals in theaters. I think that movie is overhated. I don't think it's that great, but I think it's overhated.
I think it's overhated as well, but I don't miss it.
No, and I mean it barely is felt in the MCU.
Right.
So
Exactly.
It's not felt in the MCU. Sorry.
But I do agree it's overhated. I think Spider-Man No Way Home's underhated.
I agree.
But we all agree on that
but
take.
I still
Yeah.
think that it
It
was
was
a really good theater
It
experience.
was. Yeah.
No one's denying that, but also we had a great Batman versus Superman theater experience, and
Fuck yeah,
and
we
that
did.
movie
It was
sucks.
awesome.
yeah, and Spider-Man No Way Home's better than that movie.
Yep.
Yes. Agreed.
That might be one of my top 10 theater experiences.
When
of all
I
time.
went with MSU for the first time with Anneliese, because I didn't have a lot of friends who went to Michigan State, haven't really spent a ton of time on that campus until I met Anneliese, and we went up there, and she pointed out the building. She goes, "That's Bruce Wayne's house." I said, "What?" And she said, "From the movie Batman versus Superman." And I said, "I try to forget that movie happened."
You and me both, buddy. But it is Bruce Wayne's house. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
So what was your first movie back?
My first movie back was one of the first movies back in general. It was Godzilla versus Kong.
We'll get to it in 4 years.
Subscribe for $3 a month to Patreons, where you can listen to the Godzilla Project, where I show Annalisa and Jeremy a different Godzilla movie every 2 months in chronological order. Shameless plug, help us live.
True. Jeremy, when you saw it at Chapter 2, did you go alone or did you go with friends?
I went with a group. I went with a group of friends. I think we also had somebody in that group as well who, same boat as you, who was like, "I am down to clown." But I have never seen the first one. So we all sat in the bar area of MJR and watched a recap video on one of our phones, and we're like, "All right, break, let's go."
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw this I remember watching in theaters. I don't remember. I want to say it was my mom and Doug, but I don't remember who I went with. But I remember watching the movie in theaters really vividly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can we talk cast?
I think we can talk cast.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go through because I think this will be a good exercise so we can just talk about the individual characters because this is such a character-driven movie. I know it's
It's an epic, but it's very character-driven.
But it's very character-driven. So we could talk about the actors and kind of where they ended up in their adult life. So Sophia Lillis plays young Beverly March, the only girl in the Losers Club. And as an adult, she is played by Jessica Chastain. And she is a successful fashion designer in New York City. She owns a line with her husband, who it turns out kind of a cycle thing is also abusive, just like her father. So, Jessica Chastain, what do we think about this casting?
I think it's if you can get Jessica Chastain in your movie, you get Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
Part of me is is she that's one of the castings where it's did you get the best? Where on the surface is did you get the best person or is that the most famous redhead?
And that's
But
the best redhead to play it would have been Molly Ringwald, and she was too old. So. But
also Jessica Chastain's a phenomenal actress.
Yeah.
That's why I hesitate to say that because it's nothing against her, but sometimes you see fan castings and it's
oh. Yeah.
You just pick them because that's what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me is was that the reasoning? But also, Andy Muschietti, he worked with Jessica Chastain on Mama we've talked about Jessica Chastain when we talked about Crimson Peak.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got horror cred. And she's a phenomenal actress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I think some of the actors portray the characters similar. Like, I feel like some of the acting pairs are on the same page and some of them aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I'm like, I don't know if her and Sophia Lillis were quite the same character.
That's fair. Yeah, I would agree. I think it works because Beverly Marsh as a young child is a kind of unpolished, tomboyish character, and then she grows up to be this very sophisticated fashion designer. So I think it works, and it doesn't necessarily have as much dissonance as it maybe does like for other characters. But I agree that I think that's the only reason it works. I think if she was a little bit closer to herself as a child, like in terms of personality, it would not have worked as well.
Right. But Jessica Chastain rules.
Yeah.
I love her. So when I say that, it's like I said earlier, if you could get Jessica Chastain in your movie, you fucking do it.
Right. So then there was Jaden Martell as young Bill, who is kind of the leader of the Losers Club. He is the older brother of Georgie. And as an adult, he is a mystery novelist who cannot end his books. Yeah. And he is played by James McAvoy. What do we think about this one?
I think this is a perfect casting.
Yeah, I agree.
But James McAvoy, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get... The thing with Jessica Chastain is she might be a little too famous.
That might be true, yeah.
Whereas James McAvoy is like, yes, he's famous, but I don't think he's on the same... Like, he could still disappear into a character more easily. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I see Jessica Chastain in a movie, I'm like, hell yeah, Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, that's fair.
For whatever reason, with James McAvoy, it's easier for me. Oh, Professor X. Oh, guy from Split. I don't remember his name. He's fucking great in that movie, though.
Kevin.
Yeah. I haven't seen the American remake of Speak No Evil, but I've seen the trailer, and he's fucking ripped.
He's Mr. Tumnus.
He is Mr. Tumnus.
From the Chronic, what? Golden Narnia?
Yep.
Lazy Sunday, wake up in the late afternoon.
Yeah, that was like not his first role, but it was like
that's the one I know him.
Yeah.
I forgot about... I think of Professor X.
He does such a good job.
But he was also like, here's the thing, is if you were a young girl in the early 2010s, like, your first crush was James McAvoy, because he was Mr. Tumnus, which is like maybe not crush worthy, but then he was Johnny in Penelope, which is a movie that nobody gives a shit about except for if you were a certain age. If you were like 10 through 13 in 2006, then you give a shit about Penelope. Penelope stars Christina Ricci and James McAvoy.
He also was in Wanted, which was a great...
That's the one where he bashes Chris Pratt's face with the keyboard.
Yes.
And the keys
spell fuck you.
Yeah, they spell fuck you in slow motion. Wanted's it's
a great action movie.
He was also in Atonement, which is like a very, very
Atonement rules.
Very great movie.
But no, Wanted. We got to get back to Wanted for a second.
Okay, fine.
That movie is important if you were in high school in 2010.
Yes, it was.
And I was about to say if you were a boy in high school. No, ladies can like Wanted too. Because that... Isn't Angelina Jolie in that?
She is in it,
I've never heard of this movie.
Oh, you would like it. I actually think you'd like it.
They curve like bullets in it.
It's an action thriller.
It's an action thriller. It stars him.
But I don't like action thrillers.
Morgan Freeman.
But you'll like this one.
This is a boy movie. And I don't mean... Here's the thing, is when I say that, I don't mean that, oh no, like, girls can't like action. It's just this is a boy movie.
And you'll like it. You like boy stuff.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it.
Not
but
that one.
Not that
one. He's also Nomeo.
In Juliet?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's Nomeo. He was Nomeo before he was Xavier.
James McAvoy is awesome.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He is. He's great.
And he's great in this movie.
He played Frankenstein.
In Frankenstein?
In Victor Frankenstein.
There's so many Frankenstein.
Which stars him and Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know why that took me so long. But yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
I think James McAvoy is great.
Yes.
I
think he's great for this role, though.
It is also important because this is a major role for him. He's the OG Steve from Shameless in the original version of the show.
with Emmy Rossum.
So Emmy Rossum's in the American version of the show, which ultimately garnered a little bit more.
I did not know there was a British Shameless.
Yes, there is a British Shameless, and it ran for 11 seasons. And he plays, if you've seen the show...
Of course he's Steve.
He's
that
Steve.
Makes
He's
so
Jimmy
much
Steve,
sense.
which
Yeah.
is...
I don't know what that means.
But that was a big show for him. Like a big role for him.
I don't know if he's had that role where the mainstream's like James McAvoy. I feel like the mainstream know his face.
My hot take is that I think that sometimes we forget that mainstream actors for British people and mainstream actors for American people are not always the same. And I think he's mainstream. I think he's a household name in Britain.
I think that's fair.
But we in America.
Okay.
And Jessica Chastain's a household name.
I would say the movie that I think put him on the map for people that I know, like personally, that were like, oh, hey, fucking James McAvoy's a good actor, was Split.
Well, it's like...
Because then he did Glass, because it was a trilogy that... It was a backdoor sequel to...
Split rules. Glass is fine.
Unbreakable's good. He's not in that.
Oh, yeah, but he's not in Unbreakable that we know of. But I guess my point is, like, I feel like a lot of people here in America, you say James McAvoy, they're like, who? You say the guy from Split, they're like, hell yeah.
Yes, I think that's right.
In Britain, it could be, James McAvoy, they're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Here, it's like, Jessica Chastain, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably right.
But, no, James McAvoy rules.
Okay, so Finn Wolfhard plays young Richie.
Yep.
As an adult, young Richie becomes adult Richie. I don't know why I said young Richie. He is a successful stand-up comedian, and he is played by successful stand-up comedian Bill Hader.
Is Bill Hader the most famous person in this cast? I would argue yes.
No. Jessica Chastain.
SNL, though.
I still think it's Jessica Chastain.
I think if we went into the street and asked people, who is this? More people would recognize Bill Hader.
I don't agree, but that's okay. It seems I might be the only one who does.
Well, Jeremy has not stated his opinion.
I think if you were to show a picture of this person to somebody and said, who is this, more people would be able to place Bill Hader.
That's crazy, because it's not true.
Well, here's my arguments. SNL, Barry.
Okay.
Not enough people saw Barry. As good of a show as it is.
A lot of people might be like, okay, he's a comedian, he's on SNL. They're not going to... More people are going to be able to name Jessica Chastain by name than they are going to be able to name Bill Hader.
We'll see when we
We'll
this.
see when we do the
when we go out into the streets. That's what we should have done when we went to the Redford and watched Jurassic Park.
Is ask people to name these like actors? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Bill Hader is my GOAT. I think he might be the best casted out of all of the adults.
He is the one where I'm most like, did you cast him because he's famous for wearing glasses?
Oh, I don't agree.
Which I guess you don't, but for whatever reason, I think he's great in it, but...
I think he nails the mannerisms of... And I think he... I don't agree. I don't think it's the best casting. We haven't talked about what I think is the best casting yet, but
I also have opinions on who the best casting is.
I also don't think he's the best casted, but I think he's one of the two best casted.
I do think he and Finn Wolfhard did a better job than I think any other duo of adult to child actor of like seamlessly taking the character from childhood to adulthood, where we could look at it and we go, just not even just looks wise, mannerisms.
I think
like all that. I click and I go,
pairings
that's
better.
it.
Notably, Bill Hader doesn't wear glasses. I want to be very clear.
Here's what I think.
He's
I
not-
think Bill Hader delivers the best performance in the movie.
Okay, I can get behind that. I think that's probably
Yes.
true.
I don't think he's the best casted, and I don't think he is the best pairing with the child, because I just have a hard time seeing Finn Wolfhard growing into Bill Hader. But, I mean, they're both great And I do need to see a buddy comedy with Bill Hader and Finn Wolfhard, because I feel like they would have amazing chemistry together. I think Bill Hader delivers the best performance in this movie.
Yeah.
He just brings another level to Richie that I don't think we get in It Chapter 1. No, not any fault to Finn, but I think part of that has to do with Richie getting to do a lot more in Chapter 2.
That's fair.
Than in Chapter 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. So Chosen Jacobs plays young Mike, who is kind of the sole member of the Losers Club who stays in Derry until he's the adult. He becomes the town librarian. And yes, he remembers everything. He's the one who assembles everybody. And he is played by Isaiah Mustafa as an adult, who is best known probably for the Old Spice commercials.
That's him?
Look at your man. Look at me. Look at your man. Now back at me.
No way. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's phenomenal. He does a wonderful job. He also played for Arizona State football.
What did he play?
He was a wide receiver. He was a starting wide receiver.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, he played in the Rose Bowl in 97.
So you're telling me him and Ryan Coogler need to make a movie?
Yeah.
And Joel McHale.
I think that would be great.
I just need, like Ryan Coogler, Joel McHale, Isaiah, what was his last name?
Mustafa.
Isaiah Mustafa. Yeah.
Isaiah Mustafa.
Probably Mustafa, but yeah.
Who else played football then turned into an actor? That's not The Rock.
I don't know.
All right, so Ryan Coogler is directing a buddy comedy with Isaiah...
Terry Crews?
Oh, yeah.
Terry Crews. Okay. Terry Crews can be in this. I think he played football.
Terry Crews? He did. He played in the NFL.
Rest in peace, James Caan.
Yeah.
We could get his son. He didn't.
The guy from NCIS. Mark
Harmon?
Harmon.
Harmon. It is Harmon. He was a quarterback for UCLA.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. He's got to be in this too.
Yep.
No disrespect for Dwayne The Rock. He's just too big.
Yeah.
We can't afford him. He's got tequila to sell.
We can't pay him Rampage money.
Right. Right. We could pay everyone else. We just can't pay him. But yeah, did you guys know Joel McHale was a football player?
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
He played for well, I don't know if he played. He was on the team. I think he was a walk-on. But he played for the Washington Huskies.
That's crazy.
And he said in like a podcast, like he talked about it. He was like I was good. I was on the team, but those were athletes. They were going to go somewhere. I was just happy to be here.
That's fair.
I'm like, that's really funny. But yeah, I think Mike rules.
Do you guys know what position he played?
I think he was a corner. I could be wrong, though.
He's a tight end.
Because he's got a tight end.
Gross.
Joel McHale, I love you.
Okay.
I was way off, too.
That's Sidney Prescott's husband.
Just because there's a goalie doesn't mean I can't score.
That's fair.
No, that's true. Sidney Prescott would kick my ass.
Okay, so Jeremy Ray Taylor plays Ben, young Ben. And
speaking of hot.
Yeah, so as a child, he's bullied for being overweight. He's a crush on Beverly. As an adult, he's like this hot-ass architect. And he's played by Jay Ryan.
Who, he should be in like movies based off of books that moms read in the summer. You know what I'm saying?
You just mean like romance novels? Is that what you mean?
But not just romance novels. I mean like that Michael Monroe movie that just came out. I mean like 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay, so that's a romance novel.
This dude's not in that much at all, which is kind of crazy.
No, he's not.
And he's really good in this.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. So I need you guys to understand that I have been... Can I shit on an author? Is that allowed?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't care.
Okay, I'm really sorry to all of you who love Colleen Hoover. I fucking hate her. I think she's a really bad writer. And I'm really pissed at all of her books are being made into movies. But all of her books are being made into movies because she's very popular, including Reminders of Him.
With Micah Monroe.
Just made me realize that the main actress in that fucking movie is Micah Monroe.
Yeah. And Tyreek Withers.
I knew it was Tyreek Withers, otherwise known as the guy whose name I didn't know, but he was in Him. Exactly. And yeah, I had no idea that was Micah Monroe. I've only ever seen Micah Monroe in one movie.
Yeah, so adult Ben needs to be in Colleen Hoover adaptations.
Yes, okay, I understand now.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm with you. I'm following.
You get it.
It follows.
Ba-doom-ts.
Here's the thing.
Bum, bum.
Boom, boom.
Thanks, guys. This guy Jay Ryan is not in a lot.
I think he had the hardest role.
Explain.
Because everyone else looks like their kid counterpart.
That's true,
And
yes.
he is a Greek god.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he needs to be fighting the Hydra, not Pennywise.
He's from New Zealand.
If you guys like my Hercules reference, like, share, and subscribe. I was proud of it.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
Sorry. I just need you to know that you should be embarrassed because I didn't get it.
It's my show and I will cry if I want. No, wait. It's my podcast and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. That's it.
Okay. So, Jack Dylan Grazer plays young Eddie, who is a child who's like a member of the Losers Club. He's a hypochondriac because he's a victim of Munchausen by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
And as an adult, he is a risk analyst, and he is married to a woman who's very similar to his mother. And he's played by James Ransone. And I actually do believe that this is the best one-to-one casting.
Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. Yes.
I told you this the other day.
It is. After
I
I
was gonna
watched
say
this movie
this
again,
whole
I was like,
time.
that's the correct answer.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the best pairing, too.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
He's
yeah.
so
No,
good.
the best casting, best pairing. You're
Yeah.
you're right either way.
Mm-hmm.
It should be said that James Ransome passed away earlier this year.
Yes.
Very tragically. Very young. 50-something, I think.
He passed on December 19th, 2025 at age 46.
40. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
So, and he was in a lot of great. He was great in a lot of stuff. I don't know too much detailing his death. I just know it was super sad, and I don't know. I always liked seeing him and stuff, so I was really bummed when that happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did commit suicide, but he was obviously a very wonderful actor. He left a very loving wife who now advocates for mental health. He has been in a lot of horror specifically.
Worked with Scott Derrickson a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like Sinister or The Black Phone, you've seen him.
Yeah. He was in the most recent VHS.
Oh.
VHS 85.
Oh yeah, he was. I saw that.
Yeah, he was in the Sinister movies.
Yep.
Yeah, so just a lot of stuff.
I think this is his biggest movie.
Yeah, for sure. He also did a lot of like one-off cameos in TV shows and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I think he does a great job. I love the way that both he and Jack Dylan Grazer say, "That's so not funny."
Yeah.
It's my favorite little vocal tick of theirs.
I think he's the best casting. I think him and Eddie. No, that's the character's name. What's the young Jack?
Jack.
I think James and Jack did the best job of marrying themselves, like their character together. I think he's so good. And when he gets stabbed in the cheek by Henry Bowers, he's like, "Why did you do?" Like,
Yeah.
he has some of the. It's crazy when you have a guy, like, it's crazy that he has some of the best comedic deliveries in a movie with Bill Hader.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Not to take away from Bill Hader, who is the funniest, but Eddie James Ransom, he's going, like, he's just as funny as Bill Hader in this movie, I think.
And then, obviously, this is kind of a hard one because there is not much of a comparison, but Wyatt Olaf plays young Stanley, and Andy Bean has kind of like one scene
in a voiceover for being generous.
Understanding of adult Stanley who kills himself.
I'm not gonna count this for a comparison.
No, I don't. I don't think we can. There's literally no comparison, really, because
he's hardly in the movie.
Literally dead when we see him. So, yeah,
it's a great cast. I think
it's a phenomenal cast. It's a really good one.
I said last week they knocked it out of the park with the casting. They continued it.
Yeah, I really feel like I wanted to kind of talk about these comparisons because we obviously talked a lot last week about Bill Skarsgård and his role as
who kills it once again.
Pennywise. Yeah, absolutely. But just, phenomenal.
His scene with the little girl with the birthmark.
Yeah.
He is just doesn't miss a beat.
Correct. Something that I want to talk about is, if we can, is why am I like losing my mind on the ship name? Is it Ready? Yeah, Ready. Rich and Eddie.
Oh, when you said ship, I thought you meant the paper boat.
You thought I meant.
And I was like,
ship. Yeah, no.
That's the SS Georgie.
Nope.
It says SS Georgie on Anneliese.
Yep,
But no,
nope.
you meant Tumblr.
I meant Tumblr.
It's called Ready.
It's called Ready.
It's not very creative, but okay.
I mean, most of the time they're not. It's so you know.
I prefer Etchy.
Etchy is crazy. But anyway, yeah. Eddie and Richie. Richie is in love with Eddie. And I think that's really beautiful.
And that's not really in the book either. I think they added that for the movie.
No, I don't think it's in the book. I'm pretty sure. Jeremy would know. He read it.
The what?
Yeah.
Not that I remember. It's been a lot. I read that book like 9 years ago.
Right.
But yes.
I just think it's crazy. Like, if I had a nickel for every single time that a closeted gay boy in the 80s was in love with Finn Wolfhard, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice.
Well, technically, Finn Wolfhard's the one in love in this one.
That's true. Yeah.
But still,
either way.
2 nickels.
2 nickels. Maybe 3 if you count the Goldfinch.
I don't even know what that is.
It's another movie.
But I like the inclusion in this. Because I think it's not touched upon in It Chapter 1 a bunch, but in It Chapter 2 it just starts off with, like, there's a lot of homophobia in Derry.
Yes.
And the book deals with it, but the movies don't deal with it until Chapter 2. And I think making the character of Richie gay, which I don't think is really present in the book, but is present in the movies, I think making that change is a really cool thing to do with the story. Because the book was written from 80 to 85.
Yes.
And in 2019, homophobia is still around, but having a character like that helps combat that, I think. And he gets to live at the end.
Yeah. I think that it's really kind of an important update to the story because of the fact that Pennywise is not like exactly a subtle metaphor for predatory behavior towards children.
Right.
While it's obviously not explicitly sexual, we can kind of infer that it encompasses that as well. Because it's a metaphor and that's what movies are and books and also all of those things. But the point is it's this very old thing that often takes the form of an older man who lures children and feeds off of them. And I think it's a really important update to the story because a lot of, especially in the last 10 years, in what I would like to call the dark times, people unfortunately try to equate things like pedophilia and sexual perversion to gender and sexuality. And so by making a statement of this really pure and innocent love that Richie has for Eddie throughout the entirety of their lives. I mean, like,
Right.
he, obviously they forget when they leave Derry. That's like a main plot point. But as soon as he's back, he is remembering this lasting love, and he never, like, talks about it to Eddie. He never, like, tries to, I'm trying to word carefully. He never tries to, like, make anything come of it, because it's not about that. Like, it's not about whether or not his love is requited. It is just about the fact that he feels this love and how special that is and how wonderful that is.
And why the ending, I think, is so great. And why I think Bill Hader delivers the best performance. Because the ending, when the losers are remembering Eddie, but then he's just sitting there sobbing, and then they all come to him. It makes me tear up every time I watch the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And having that layer to it, because it's such a pure, innocent little love, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Although it's so Can we bounce to the dinner scene real quick?
Please.
The Chinese Chinese restaurant scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the entirety of both films, Richie's saying to Eddie, "I banged your mom," you know.
Yeah.
Out of love, but he's annoying, and that's the fun of Richie. Oh my God, the bit where he does the Jabba the Hutt impersonation. One, Bill Hader's a master impersonator, but he has the best Jabba. Like, his Jabba is so funny.
Yeah.
I thought about it again. It made me laugh.
You're funny.
No, Bill Hader's funny.
That's so not funny. That was a reference to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because he says that. Sorry, guys.
Eddie says that.
I'm just here.
Let's kill this fucking clown.
About... Never mind. I'm just going to freak out. It's fine.
Beep, beep, Richie. I was waiting for you to go to the next...
Is it time for superlatives?
I don't think it's time for superlatives. We should talk about cultural impact.
Great. We already did that last episode.
But we didn't talk about Chapter 2's impact.
Okay, you do that then. Because my Chapter 2's impact is that there's a fandom for it, which we talked about last week.
Well, people didn't like it as much, and I think they're wrong. This movie rules.
Did people not like it as much?
They
Nope.
definitely didn't.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, because everyone I know liked it better.
I liked it better.
I like it better.
Yeah. I feel, here's one thing I will say, and I don't know if you guys agree with this. I think It Chapter 2 is a better movie. Austin and I talked a little bit off mic. I think it's more in the vein of the novel. It much more is. I don't want to go. We talked about how it's better adaptation than it is the telling. And I mean, like, obviously they're telling the second half of the story, so it's not the whole thing. But they do the whole back and forth scene for scene thing. That is how the book is written. That being said, I think this is a better movie overall. I think It Chapter 1 is scarier.
I agree with that.
I think it's a scarier movie.
I absolutely agree with that. I think this has more balance, because this has more, like, funny, drama, like, all that kind of stuff. And Chapter 1 is more scary.
I mean, I think in Chapter 1, you're looking at it through the eyes of children. Mm-hmm. They are kids.
And it's a tighter movie, too, because it's not jumping back and forth. It feels more cohesive. Mm-hmm. I will agree with the criticism of It Chapter 2 that it's a little bloated.
Sure.
That being said, have you seen the book?
Yeah, we literally went to a Barnes & Noble today.
Yeah.
And it's intimidating to look at, even to pick up. When you're like, oh, I would like to read this, you're like, ew.
Yeah. And it's like this, it's insane how much is in it. I have not seen Welcome to Derry yet. but I can that book is so big. I know they're still drawing stuff from Welcome to Derry, like from the novel into Welcome to Derry.
I'm so sure.
And that's part of the cultural impact is Welcome to Derry. Like
That's fair, yeah.
People didn't like it. Consensus didn't like It Chapter 2 as much as they did It Chapter 1, but they didn't hate it to the point where we're not getting welcome. There's still hype for Pennywise. Like, people love the It movies. It wasn't like the finale of Game of Thrones where pop culture that died, essentially. And like, yeah, there's House of the Dragons and the Seven Knights or whatever it's called. But, I don't know. There's still hype for Pennywise. I don't think people are as hyped for Game of Thrones as they once were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah.
So, are we ready for our Chapter 2 litives?
Yeah.
Our Bill Hader litives?
Yeah.
Our Jessica Chastain litives? Our Paul Bunyan litives?
What?
Paul Bunyan litives.
Explain that. Oh,
The giant
statue.
Paul Bunyan.
I'm back. Okay, I got it. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Who would you save?
I would save Eddie.
Fucking shocking.
Can you fucking blame me?
No. You should save Eddie.
Yeah.
Since you're gonna save Eddie, I'll save Stanley.
Yeah.
I'm sad that he killed himself.
I forget he's in the movie sometimes.
Yeah, no, because he's not really in the movie, but he's in the first one.
You wouldn't save the little girl?
She's fine.
You wouldn't save the little boy?
He's fine.
The little boy has like the worst week ever. Then he gets eaten by a clown.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to save him. I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, I'm gonna save Stanley. I know his name.
Like, I'm a fan of this comedian. He's gonna yell at me in a Chinese restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
His weird friend's gonna yell at me by a sewer, then follow me to the fair, and then I'm gonna get eaten by a fucking clown.
Yep.
There's a book that has the perfect title for that. Harry's No Good, Super Bad, Awful Day. Well, do you know what?
Mean Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day?
That's basically what that kid had.
Yeah.
But plus 2 days.
You know what? Fuck that. I'm saving Adrian.
Oh, from the beginning of the movie.
Oh, the
Yeah.
couple.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about, like,
The
most...
hate crime.
Yeah, the
I mean,
most...
you did talk about
horrific
it. We just
scene.
didn't actually go into detail.
Okay, we don't have to, but it's the most horrific scene in the novel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like off the rip. It happens like immediately in the book.
Right, and it's... That's what the book is, though. The book just tackles, like, all of the homophobia and racism and sexism of a small town. And just all the isms, really.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see, obviously, the homophobia. We see Mike get profiled specifically in It Chapter 1, but also a little bit in this movie.
Right.
We see Beverly not having the greatest time with, like, stereotypes and specifically, like, people... She's got a reputation in the town because she spends time with boys and all of that kind
and
of
then
stuff.
she faces domestic abuse from both her dad and her husband.
Yes. So.
Yeah, just every single awful thing that can happen in a small town is explored in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the fact that Chapter 2 doesn't shy away from the most horrific scene in the book, I give them a lot of credit. And they do it really, like, they don't pull their punches while doing it. But also, they don't up the ante for shock value. Like, I think they do such a good job with that. It's violent, it's horrific, but I don't think they do it in a way that feels, exploitative.
Yeah. What was your favorite scare?
There are some good ones. My problem is I'm trying to remember which scares are in Chapter 1 and which ones are in Chapter 2. Because I watch these almost back to back.
Right.
When I say almost back to back, I mean I watch one on a Saturday night and I watch the other one on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to sleep. I had a couple hours of sleep interrupting them, but essentially, consciously, I watched them back to back. I think Pennywise in the funhouse with the mirrors, I think that's a great
one.
That's a great scare. I'm going to go with that one.
I'm going to go with the one that I remember from the first time I saw the movie, which is when Beverly is in the house, like in her old apartment, and the old woman, like while she's like walking around the apartment, like runs by in the background. Freaks me out every time.
I think she has a silly, goofy run.
I mean, yes,
and it makes
but
me
it
laugh.
still like clenches my heart. So
I just imagine her going like oinky boinky oinky boinky when she runs like that.
Okay.
And maybe that'll help.
Maybe so.
But I think it chapter 2 has a lot of fun. Oh, you know what is I'm gonna stick by my guns and say what I said. But another scare I like is when they do the reprise of the scary door, very scary, not scary doors. And Richie's just like, oh, he's fucking with us. We're going to do very scary. And then it's like the bottom half. Where's your upper half? And then they go, okay, fuck. We're going to do the not scary. And it's a Pomeranian. It's like, oh, and you expect it to get scary and it don't. It's just, that's cute. Okay. Yeah. And then I forget what they say, like, and then it gets, I don't know, I just think it's a great bit.
I agree. Who is your Tony Todd Award for movie MVP?
I'm not going to give it to the casting director like I did last week.
Okay.
I'm going to say Stephen King.
Okay.
Because he wrote the book.
Yep.
He's a man that makes it all possible. And I love his cameo in this. I think it's so fun.
It is a really fun cameo, yeah.
Did you know that cameo wasn't supposed to be him?
I didn't know that, no.
It was supposed to be Joe Hill, who is another...
That's Stephen King's son.
Horror author who is Stephen King's son. He was supposed to play it and he was unavailable, so Stephen King just stepped in and did it.
That's funny.
Do you know who the other cameo that was supposed to appear was?
I read it earlier, but I'm betting he doesn't.
Do you know?
No.
The janitor that Ben encounters when fleeing from Pennywise was supposed to be and was like this close to being secured. Guillermo del Toro.
I bet Guillermo really wanted to do it.
Probably, yeah.
I'm sure it was like a scheduling conflict.
Yeah, it probably ruined his day that he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But there are some cameos in this. I believe that one of the guys in the architecture firm who's talking, he was like the original young Ben. And then it reveals adult hot Ben. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's Peter Bogdanovich who plays the director in the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a director.
Right.
Can we talk about a cameo in the book that didn't show up in the movie? And it was my biggest gripe when I saw this in theaters in 2019. Even though no, it's not. It wasn't my biggest, because I wouldn't have known about it in 2019. It was my biggest gripe when I rewatched it in 2021.
I feel like I know who it is, but go ahead.
Well, I want you to guess now. No,
Is it Dick Halloran?
it's not Dick Halloran.
Okay.
But that's a good guess. So in the book, spoilers for the book. I don't know if you remember this. When Henry Bowers gets picked up by zombified Patrick Hotstetter in the car that he gets picked up in the book is a bright red 1950s Plymouth Fury.
No, Christine.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
And they didn't do that and I
do blame them.
I
Fuck
do.
them.
Yeah, you're right.
That
They
would've
should have
been-
did it.
yeah.
They should have done it. There is a movie that we will cover somewhat later this year that has a Christine homage, and you're never gonna guess what it is.
I don't even have a clue.
But oh my god, when I was reading the book, and that part came up, I was listening to the audiobook, and I had to rewind. I'm like, what the fuck they just say? I'm like, you kidding me? So. That's my one big gripe with the movie. Is
No Christine.
no Christine. Especially because I feel like a lot of the modern audience, I don't know how big Christine is to like the kids seeing It Chapter 2.
Fair, yeah.
That's for the King fans and the cinephiles.
Mm-hmm.
A Red Plymouth Fury is not going to take us out of the movie that much. If anything, you would have seen a bunch of people doing backflips like it was 40-year-old Toby Maguire in tights.
You're funny.
So, all right. Who's your... Oh, my God. I went on. I'm sorry. I'm so
You're
sorry.
good.
Who is your Tony Todd Award winner for movie MVP?
I'm going to say Sophia Lillis and Finn Wolfhard because when they were asked who would play them in the sequel in July of 2017, so that is before the first movie came out, before the second movie was cast, Sophia Lillis chose Jessica Chastain and Finn Wolfhard chose Bill Hader. And I just think it's hilarious that they picked their own, like, adult counterparts. So,
And they
I'm
were
gonna say them.
And they did great job casting.
Yeah. Austin, have you met anybody from this cast?
I feel like I haven't.
Any of the adults?
I'm thinking. I'm running through in my brain. No, because the thing is, like, I know I haven't met anyone of the main cast, but I'm trying to just think of like the supporting.
Yeah, for sure.
The people who would be at horror conventions. I think my mom met the little kid who played Georgie
Oh,
at
that's
Motor
cool.
City Comic Con. No, I don't think I've met anyone from It Chapter 2. But oh my God, if I got to meet Bill Hader, I'd be... Or obviously Jessica Chastain.
Mm-hmm.
Love to meet her.
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, 100%. Isaiah Mustafa, he's awesome.
Yeah.
So definitely people I'd love to meet, but not yet.
Is the score better than Jaws?
No. Part 2.
No, part 2. It was done by the same man. He was done by Benjamin Wallfish, who did part 1. He's also, again, like we talked about last week, done Hidden Figures, Blade Runner 2049, Shazam, lots of different...
Alien Romulus.
Yes, lots of different stuff.
Predator, Killer of Killers, co-composer for Predator Badlands. We gotta make sure we get the horror.
Well,
Invisible Man.
We did talk about all this last week, so I was just
But
kinda
just in
trying
case you didn't listen last week,
Well, then what are you fucking doing here?
are your Dory from Finding Nemo?
That's fair. Okay, a fine addition to your collection. Do you own this one?
I do, on 4K Blu-ray.
Nice.
I also have Pennywise socks that I'm wearing. They're different from last week's episode. Not that anyone listening would know that.
But I do.
But that's true. You do, and you can confirm.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have a Pennywise Funko Pop where he's holding a balloon, and it's from It Chapter 2.
Nice. Sick. All right. Letterboxd reviews.
It's It. What is It? Chapter 2.
Okay. I gave this movie 4 stars and the heart. I said, Bill at 13. Sorry, but you're not Georgie. Time to put a cap in your ass. Bill at 40. Holy shit, is that Georgie? The scene where he looks into the sewer and he's like, grab my hand. I'm like, we've been through this, Bill.
In his defense, he forgot.
That's what I said too. I gave this 4.5 stars and a heart.
Oh!
And I said, me when Eddie dies, that's so not funny.
Rip in peace.
Yeah.
Rip in peace.
I gave this 4 stars and a heart. I think one of the rare moments where Anneliese rates a movie higher than me.
Doesn't happen often.
But it happened. And I say, The Losers Club making Pennywise small. You're a clown. Just a mimic. Imposter. Me making Pennywise small. Use a bitch.
It's good. It's good.
I'm so proud of that review.
It's really good. So there's no new Supernatural alumni There's been supernatural element. We already talked about what we would do if Pennywise was our birthday clown. Do you have anything to add?
I have something.
Okay.
What would you do if Bill Hader was your birthday act?
I would ask him why he did the movie Trainwreck.
I liked that movie.
That's crazy.
I
That's
saw it
the
in theaters.
Wrong opinion. No.
I saw it in theaters.
No.
And Bill Hader's chemistry with LeBron James was really funny.
That's super fair.
I hear you, and I respectfully raise you Amy Schumer shouldn't make things.
Here's my defense. I don't remember her parts in
She
the
is
movie.
the main character.
I watched this in theaters when it came out and
Also,
haven't seen it
I want to
since.
say something. I just looked, just for fucking track records. I looked. Trainwreck 2015. Do you know what Austin Torres rated Trainwreck? 2 fucking stars. So I don't know that you liked that movie that much.
Yeah, 2 stars. 1 for Bill Hader, 1 for LeBron James.
All right.
I don't have to like a movie to think it's... Or I don't have to think a movie's good to like it.
That's fair, I suppose.
That's very true. He loves Red Eye.
What the fuck? How am I being harassed with bad opinions on my own show?
What would you do if Bill Hader was your birthday act?
I'd asked if I could open for him his next tour.
That's fair.
And he has to say yes, because it's your birthday.
Exactly.
That is fucking smart.
What about you, Austin?
I'd ask if he wants to be in my next movie. I'd write something for him. He don't have to if he don't want to, but I think it'd be cool. Because he loves horror movies. I think we would make such a banger of a horror movie together.
I would ask if he would roll with a group of problematic bachelors known as the Squad with me.
I feel like that's a reference.
It's a reference to something Bill Hader said. It doesn't matter. Nobody gets it. That's fine. Austin, would you die?
So last week I said yes, because I would have been a kid. This week, no.
You're just going to call him a little bitch?
Exactly.
Nice.
And he's gonna... I don't need a losers club around me. I could defeat him on my own. He'd be like, I am the eater of worlds. You the bitch. I am the eater. You's a bitch. You a little ass bitch. I just... Boom. I calls him bitch, and he'd be like, no, he'll be like, no, that's something I'm sensitive about.
That's something I'm sensitive about.
So
I'd just be like, look at this clown. He got feminine hips.
who is this clown? 1, saying he's a clown, and 2, not even a particularly well-known one.
It's true.
So it goes on multiple levels. And also, I'm just going to say that, like, yeah, I'd live. Chapter 2.
Would you live?
Yeah.
Or would you die?
Or would you die?
I'd live. I ain't afraid of no clown.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I think, like we said last week, I would die as a child. I think if I make it through round 1, I will make it through round 2.
Because you're going to call him a bitch.
Exactly.
You's a bitch. Pennywise. Would you die, Anneliese?
I'm not scared of pedophiles. So no. Nope, that's it. I'm not taking it back.
That is crazy.
That's our show.
Austin, where can the people find you?
The people can find me trying to find Bill Hader's agent to be in my next horror film at Austin M. Torres across the social media verses. You can find the show social media at Would You Die Show. Subscribe to us on YouTube where you can listen to our episodes, watch my short films like Ice Cream Spider, The Blood Witch, the trailer for my upcoming short film Dietary Restrictions, and whatever I end up doing with Bill Hader, I'm assuming. Subscribe to our Patreon where you get monthly bonus episodes. This month being a non-horror clown movie. We talked about Dumbo. I love Dumbo. Our weekly sports show, Would You Ball? Because we like sports.
We don't care who knows.
And our bi-monthly show, The Godzilla Project, which I plugged earlier. But next month is, in May. Yeah, it's basically May now. You guys are getting a banger. It's my favorite Godzilla movie we're talking about. So $3 a month. It's literally how I eat. You got, like, every time you don't support the Would You Die podcast on Patreon, a Blood Witch gains her wings.
We don't want that.
No one wants that. Anneliese, where can the people find you?
The people can find me watching Penelope starring James McAvoy wherever movies are sold. Just kidding. And you can also find me at Whimsawillow on all social media. I'm having a lot of fun on Tumblr right now. If you want to see what kind of movies I'm watching, not just for the podcast, but also just in my real life, you can go check me out there. Jeremy, where can the people find you?
You can find me reading my favorite Stephen King novel, 11/22/63, where Pennywise only makes like a 3-paragraph cameo, which is far less scary.
Only.
It's bigger than Christine's cameo in it, which is a sentence.
Other than that, you can find me at Annually Funny across all socials.
Thanks, Jeremy Lippitt, for producing our podcast. Thank you so much to our theme music's composer, Josie Palmer. You can check out her music on Spotify and Apple. A big thank you also for our graphics displayed on our social media, which are done by Allie Gibson at Crosshook Creative. You can check out more of his work at wearecrosshook.com. Austin, do you have a hint for next month?
Next month, so as you guys recall, last August we did what we called Wes Craven Month, where we just dedicated a whole month to the horror master Wes Craven. We are doing something similar, dedicating another month to a different artist, though this time it's a beloved horror writer-director who I would say is much more modern. He's a modern master of horror. That's all I'm going to say, because you guys will, if I give any more, you guys will guess them immediately.
For sure.
But I'm a fan.
Same.
Until then, I'm Austin Torres.
And I'm Annalise Petersmark.
Try not to die.